Hello everyone, this is Mohammed from Python Ninja YouTube channel, and today we will learn together how can we design multiple choice exam using Python collection data structure. So this is the requirement of the multiple choice exam exercise we will have in this tutorial. Write a Python code for multiple choice exam of 5 questions. The requirement as follows. For each question, we must print the question and the corresponding choices. At each question, the user must know whether the answer is correct or incorrect. At the end of the exam, print the correct answers and the input answers or the guesses from the user. And finally, we have to print the result in person. Okay, so I found these questions and I will show the options and the answers. I have to say this is options, not answers. Now, the question as follows. How many bones are in the human body? We have to select one of these options. Which animal lays the largest eggs? We have also 4 options. And how many elements are in the periodic table, which is from physics table? And this is 118. What is the abundant gas in the atmosphere? And which planet is the hottest in the solar cell system? And we have the corresponding answers. So we have here the answer is 206 for how many bones, and for which animal lies, which is the ostrich, the sea also. How many elements are in the periodic table? This will be 118. What is the abundant gas in the Earth's atmosphere, which is nitrogen, and which planet is the hottest one, which is the Venus, which is the closest to the sun. Okay, now let us design our equations. Okay, in Python, we will have a table, and inside this table we have to list these equations. Okay, this is the first equation, then I add comma and I press enter to have just a good representation, and I want to add another comma and press for the second equation. Here is the third equation, and again for the fourth equation. Okay, and same for the fifth equations that we have. Okay, now I want to have another tuple for answers. This will be a table of tuples, okay, which means that I have the first tuple here. I put inside the first tuple these options, okay, which is corresponding for the first question, okay. Then I want to add comma and press enter and add another tuple for the second question. Sorry, for the second question, I want to add this here. And the same here. I want to let you know now why we use this two-dimensional tuple for this options, not answers, sorry, this should be options. Okay, and now we will have another tuple, okay, and this is for the penultimate question. Okay, and for the ultimate one, we will have these options. Okay, so these are the options that we will have. I have to put it inside a table here. What's up in the keyboard? Okay, and now I have to close this. It's okay. So I have to have also another table of answers, which will be these answers. Okay, so the best collection that I have in this exercise is to have table for a question, because I want to print the first item, okay, as the first question. And the best for option is to have a table of tables, which is 2D table, because I want to print the options, are all options, and I want to loop inside these options. Okay, so I want to have this table of tables. Okay, and for the answer, it is also a table 1D tuple that holds the answers. Okay. Again, we can use list, but as I said, that list is immutable first, and we don't need to change this equation or append to them now, and it's like memory consume. Also, I have to design user guesses. For the user guesses, we will have a list. Okay. For this list, we will append the answer that will come from the user. Okay. And I have to also have a score. Okay. It will be 0. Then it will be increased based on the correct answer or each correct answer. I will have also index for each option. And this index we will start by index 0. So this is important because it will allow us to loop among the index of each tuple of this, for example, of the first equation or the second equation. Okay, so now we learn together for loop. Okay, so I want to loop among this tuple and I want to print the question. At the same time, I want to use nested loop to print the first option, the first tuple of options under the first equation. Let's see how can we do that for a question in this equation should be okay. In questions, I want to first print. I want to print 40 star. Okay. We learn how can we print this form of stars. Please review print statement and the corresponding tutorials. Then I want to print the questions. Okay, so here in the first loop, suppose we are in the first index, okay, or in the index number 0, then we will print the question number 0, which is this one. Okay. Then what I have to do also, I have to loop among the option after printing the first question. I have to loop in this 2D tuple and print the first tuple, which can be implemented as this for option in options. Okay, but not all options. I have to print the first option. Okay. For the first equation. So I want to use this index. Okay. Then we will increase this for the second equation. Okay. So I want to print here the options. Okay. I want to print the options that is related to the first equation, which is this one. Okay. And this index, option index is 0 corresponding to the first one. Okay. Cool. So now after that, after printing this option, we printed the question, we printed the option. Now we will print also the user input. So we have to ask the user. So what is the user guess that we have? Remember, here we have user guesses, which is a list. But now I have a single user guess that is taken from input. Okay, and I want to ask the user enter your guess or your answer. It is better. Okay, so I want to ask the user to input his answer. Okay, and I want also to show the user that also it's limited to A and B and C and D. Okay, let's also use capital letter. So to respect the option that we have in form of capital letter, we learned in a string data structure that we have as a method that is called upper, which return or map each letter, each small letter into capital letter. Now the user submit or enter his or her answer. What I have to do, I have to put the answer here in the list. So user guesses should be appended append with the answer. I want to append the user guess itself. So this user guess, okay, that coming from the user will be appended to the guesses that is identified in form of list. Now, what I will do later, I want to compare now if the user guess, okay, is equal to the answer, but we have the answers a table, but I want it to compare for the first answer. If it will be the answer of option of the index of this one, okay, if the answer is okay, is similar, then I want to print a message to the user to tell him that he entered correct answer. Okay. Again, we are in the first question because the for loop is still not updated and is not increased. So the first question, it will be printed, and we entered another for loop, nested loop here for printing the options, and I want to print the first tuple. For that I use this index of 0, of course, and I printed the whole options. They will be printed vertically, okay, and which is the default case in Python. After printing the option, I want to take a user input, okay, from the user, from you, from anyone who will answer the exam, and I want to put his answer, which is this one, into this list, okay. After that, so far we are in the first question. The index is not changing now for the for loop or for the options. And I want to compare if the user input is typical to the first item of the answers, because the first item of the answer table, of the table of answers, is corresponding to the first question, and the last is corresponding to the last question. Okay, so if it's matched, then we will print correct answer, and at the same time I want to increase the score plus equal 1. This is the augmented assignment form. So if all is good and the user entered the good answer, the right answer, then this score variable will be increased by 1. Okay, but if he entered incorrect question, then we have to go for else. For the opposite choice that we have, then we have to print incorrect answer, okay, and we have to show to him what is the correct answer. Also, the correct answer is, and I want to open a placeholder. I want to go for these answers, okay, for the table, and I want to select the first one to show to the user that is the right answer. So it is the first, sorry, for the answers of this option index, which is 0, which is 1, C. Okay, so far we are working in the first question. When I run the program, after finishing the first question, the for loop will go for the second question, but the option index is still 0, so it will compare with the first options, the first table for all questions. So what shall I do? I have to go back here, and I want to increase this index by 1, okay, as soon as the index of the for loop will be changed. So this is compared for the first question. Then I play around the option index. It will become now 1, okay, because I use this line. And the for loop will go for the second question. And it is in the same scenario till finishing the whole equation. This is how can we implement the code. Now we want to do some visualization for the result. For example, I want to print here, I want to print 40 star, okay, I have to multiplier here, and I want to print another 10 stars here, okay, and I want to print also final I want to show final results to the final results. Okay, then I want to print another 10 stars just to have this in between, like this. And I want to repeat this line just to do some kind of visualization. And I want to print to the user what are the correct answers, what are his answers. Okay, so print the correct answers. Okay, like this. It will be in the same line. We want to have the same line also. Okay, we want to bring all answers in the same line. For that, I use this argument, and I want to loop, okay, among this answer table to print all items for answer in answers. Okay, print answer, and at the end I want to also print them in the same line as what we did. Later I have to do another print, but just this print is an empty print. It does nothing, but it will, after printing all answers in the same line, then we have to move the cursor from this line to a new line. Otherwise, all answers and guesses will be printed in the same line. Okay, so this is for the correct answer, and we want to show to the user his answer. Print, for example, your answers. Okay, and I want to print all of his answer to the same line, like this one. And I want to loop among the user guesses that we used in the code to store the user input. Okay, so for user guesses. Okay, I want to print, okay, the user guess itself, and I want to use this keyword argument. In the next tutorials, when I will introduce functions in Python, you will learn more about what the keyword argument itself means. Okay. And now I want also to have another empty print. Okay, just to move the cursor down to have a new line of scores. The score, for example, now will be what are the scores? How many times I increase this score variable by 1? If I answer the questions 3 times correctly, then it will be 3, and it will be divided by the length of the answers. We have 5. It will be divided by 5. Okay, this is basic mathematics. Okay, it will be divided by the length of answers. Okay, or the length of the questions, and I have to cast this to float. Okay, like this. And finally, I want to multiply this by 100 to have this in person. And I want to print, okay, the final score. Score is, I want to have a placeholder for the score, and then I can use the suitable sign. Okay, and yeah, this is how can we implement multiple choice questions. If I want to test myself, this is the first question has been printed, and the corresponding options also. I want to answer. I know the first answer should be C. If it's small or capital letter, it's not a matter, because this will be converted to capital letter according to this line. So the first answer is C, and it showed me the correct answer. The second answer is, for example, I do not need to use the correct answer, but I want to use B, and I want to press enter. Then it showed to me that it is incorrect answer. The correct answer is C. Okay, then I want to add D, and it is correct answer. D, because we have 118 elements in the periodic table. Okay, Now, what the abundant gas is like normal information. It should be A, which is the nitrogen, and which planet is the hottest, which the one is the closest to the sun, and this should be P, which is Venus. Yes. Now I have a 400, and that is unfair because we have the length of answer. It should be the length of answers. Okay, let us try again. We have C, we have this should be incorrect. We have how many elements are, which should be D, and this should be A, and this should be B. Now I have 80% because I intentionally said or submit incorrect answer. That's for today's tutorial. I think now you are able to design your own multiple choice questions, and see you next tutorial with a new exercise. Please share this video and follow the tutorial from the beginning to be aligned with the next tutorial.